It begins with a sentence that froze an entire courtroom. I killed her, but I can't remember the attack. Now think about that for a moment, because usually in a murder trial, the accused person says one of two things. Either I didn't do it, or yes, I did. But in this case, the story keeps shifting, and every time it shifts, the tension inside the courtroom rises. This is the story of Daena Walsh, a young mother from County Cork whose death shocked the quiet Irish community and whose partner now stands trial for her killing. But the most disturbing part of this case is not just the violence, it's the contradictions. Because the man accused of killing her first claimed she harmed herself. Then he pleaded not guilty to murder. And then during the trial, he said something no one expected. I killed her. But he also said he cannot remember how it happened. So, what really happened inside that apartment? Let's go back to the beginning. Middleton, County Cork. It is a peaceful town where most days pass quietly. People know each other. Life moves at a calm rhythm. It is not the kind of place where people expect to hear about violent crime. But inside an apartment building in the town, relationship had been under pressure for some time. Daena Walsh was 27 years old. She was a mother of two young children. Friends and family described her as caring and devoted to her kids. She had been in a relationship for around a decade with Adam Corcoran, a man originally from Ballincollig in Cork. Like many long relationships, there had good times and difficult periods. Evidence heard in court later revealed that both had struggled with alcohol and drugs in the period before her death. And in the days leading up to the tragedy, their lives had become chaotic. On a summer afternoon in early August 2024, the couple were seen together in Middletown. They had been drinking earlier that day. CCTV later showed them moving through the town before returning to their apartments. At that point, everything still appeared normal from the outside, but inside that apartment, something went terribly wrong. According to evidence heard during the trial, a violent incident happened inside the home. About an hour later, Adam Corcoran left the apartment and made a call to emergency services. During that call, he told the operator that his partner had stabbed herself. It was a shocking claim. Emergency crews responded quickly. But when they arrived, they discovered something far more serious. Daena Walsh was dead. And the injuries investigators found immediately raised serious questions. A post-mortem examination later confirmed she had suffered multiple knife injuries to her face, neck, chest, and abdomen. The pathologist told the court there were many wounds, far more that could realistically be self-inflicted. Inside the apartment, investigators also recovered two knives. Both contained blood belonging to Daena Walsh. The scene became even more unusual when investigators discovered there had also been a fire in the apartment. Evidence suggested the fire began after her death. So the guards were now dealing with several major questions: a violent death, multiple knives, a fire in the apartment, and the partner claiming the victim harmed herself. Naturally, the investigation moved quickly. The guards sealed off the apartment and began collecting forensic evidence. They photographed the scene, they examined the knife, they reviewed CCTV from the surrounding area. Witnesses were interviewed, and as the investigation progressed, Adam Corcoran became the main focus. At first, the explanation remained the same. He told authorities that Daena Walsh had injured herself, but the medical evidence told a different story. The injuries described by the pathologist strongly suggest an attack, not self-harm. Because of this, Corcoran was arrested. He was later charged with murder. He was also charged with causing damage to the apartment by fire. When the case eventually reached the Central Criminal Court, Corcoran pleaded not guilty to both charges, and that is how the trial began. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere was tense. Murder trials in Ireland are rare and serious events. Every word matters. Every detail is carefully examined. Jurors must listen closely to the evidence and decide what really happened. The prosecution presented forensic evidence and witness testimony describing the injuries and the events leading up to Daena Walsh's death. The defense, meanwhile, focused on Corcoran's state of mind and the chaotic circumstances inside the apartment that day. Then something happened that changed the entire tone of the trial. Adam Corcoran chose to give evidence. That decision alone is significant. Many defense do not testify, but he did. And during cross-examination, the prosecution asked him direct question about the attack. At one point, the prosecutor asked him plainly whether he had killed Daena Walsh. His response stunned the courtroom. Yes, he said, I killed her. It was a moment that caught everyone's attention, because remember, he had pleaded not guilty to murder, but the story did not end there. He immediately added something else. He said he did not intend to kill her, and he claimed he could not remember the attack itself. According to his testimony, the couple had been drinking and taking drugs heavily in the days before the incident. He said the situation inside the apartment became chaotic. He told the court that Daena Walsh had been holding a knife and harming herself. But the prosecution challenged that version strongly. Medical evidence suggests the injuries could not have been self-inflicted, and the numbers of wounds described by the pathologist raised serious questions about what really happened in that apartment. For the jury, the case now revolves around several key issues: the physical evidence found at the scene, the medical finding, and the changing statements made by the accused. In criminal trial, juries must examine all of these elements carefully. They must decide whether the prosecution has proven the charge beyond reasonable doubts. Meanwhile, outside the courtroom, the human cost of the case remains painfully clear. The Daena Walsh family has had to sit through the trial and listen to details about her final moments. Her children must now grow up without their mother, and the community in Middleton continue to struggle with the shock of what happened. Cases like this leave deep scars, not only for families, but for entire communities, because when violence happens in a quiet place, people begin asking difficult questions. How did this happen? Could it have been prevented? And what really occurred behind closed doors? For now, those questions remain in the hand of the jury. They must weigh the evidence. They must consider the testimony. And they must decide the truth behind the words spoken in that courtroom. I killed her, but I can't remember the attack. A sentence that raises more questions than answers. And the case that continues to unfold inside one of Ireland's highest courts. If you want fast updates on Irish true crime, subscribe. We cover everything before it hits mainstream headlines. Thank you.